In this video, we're going to show you how to take two 3-inch downspout lines and tie them into one 4-inch main. We ran 3-inch pipe through all these sprinkler lines. We went under as well as over sprinkler lines. You can see a couple sprinkler lines through here that we went over top of. Only 3-inch line is going to do this. A 4-inch line, you would have to cut all those sprinkler mains. Now we're going to show you the proper way to do a tie-in to a 4-inch main. There's a special coupler. It's a 3 to 4 increaser reducer. You're going to see Francisco snap this increaser reducer to the 4-inch, and then he's going to fit the 3-inch line. That's a proper connection from 3-inch to 4-inch. Now there is a top and bottom to that coupler, so you want to make sure you have it set to where both pipes are laying flat at the bottom of the trench. Keep in mind, when you use this technique, you have to have a sediment trap upstream. What will happen if you do not have a sediment trap catching all the debris? When the water goes from a 3-inch to a 4-inch, the water is going to spread over a greater area. It's going to slow down. When the water slows down, it's going to drop all the sediment that it's carrying. The sediment trap that we're installing upstream is going to collect all the shingle, gravel, and debris. It's going to prevent a clog from occurring in that 4-inch Y. We're going to cover all the connections of this downspout. We have our offset coupler adjusted high, and then as we get downstream, we adjust it low. We want to keep this water flowing. We want to keep the velocity up. Make sure you tape all those connection points. What's great about corrugated pipe is you can run it for 100 feet without any connections. I love corrugated pipe because you're never going to have any sinkholes. You're not going to have a bumpy yard. When you're running a rigid pipe and you have a ton of connections and a ton of couplers, there's areas where the dirt's falling inside the line. The water then washes the dirt out the discharge. Wherever it's being discharged, that's where some of that dirt ends up, and you end up with a lot of potholes, a lot of sinkholes through your yard. I love corrugated pipe because the connections are minimum. Now make sure you put your foot on your pipe before you go ahead and push the dirt on top of it. The corrugated pipe is super lightweight. It's made out of high-density polyethylene. That's the same thing that Tupperware is made out of. So when you push dirt, which is quite heavy and dense, on a light pipe like that, the dirt can get under the pipe, and now it interrupts your beautiful 1% slope that you work so hard for. Now always look up top on a 2-story. You can see that on the top of that 2nd story, that gutter drops into the 1st-story gutter. So we knew these 2 gutters were responsible for a ridiculous amount of water. A 2x3 downspout cannot max out a 3-inch line. So we wanted to run a 3-inch line opposed to a 4-inch line so we didn't have to cut the sprinkler system, and we wanted the line to stay clean. When we merge these 2 lines together, there's now enough water to run through a 4-inch pipe. Now we're going to show you the stack up and how all this goes together. You can cut your riser to fit right now, like you see here. The guys went ahead and fitted that. You're going to take that apart, though, when you tape that. I just wanted to bring this up. And before you make that connection, you want to tie in your sediment trap. It's so much easier to do this connection once you hook it up to that leaf filter. You make your job so much harder. We're going to show you all the different points that we apply a really good plumbing tape. It's super stretchy, super sticky. It's really good tape. Now these 2 couplers, where you make this connection at the catch basin, you want to use a good plumbing tape so that you don't have any leaks, and you also want to use the plumbing tape so if there's any landscape that's planted near your line, right now there's no bushes or trees. But that doesn't mean one day there won't be, and we want to make sure the roots don't get into our system. I love how this 3-inch line goes under those sprinklers. I hate cutting a brand new sprinkler system. Measure it and cut it to fit so you can get rid of this excess line. Get it out of your way so you can have a clean workspace. Now make this connection now. Go ahead and tape it. Let's do a quick review for the DIYers. You want to cut your riser that sets inside your leaf filter while you have no line on the fitting. Don't make work for yourself. Then once you get to the point to where you're going to tie in the line that comes off of the catch basin, you just go ahead and disassemble it and make that connection. Now you want to put a turf restrictor plate on top of your catch basin so that the grass doesn't grow over it. We're using a solid cover so that we can get in and clean out the shingle gravel and any sediment. We tied the side downspout in with this rear downspout because the gutter was the same gutter. It was an L-shaped gutter that both downspouts were tied into. We have another turf restrictor plate with a solid cover. Now we're going to show you where we took this 4-inch line. We tied two 3-inch lines to a 4-inch main, went underneath the fence. This community had a large drainage ditch that ran through it. This made our life easy. We didn't have to take it to a pop-up emitter, we just ran it to daylight. Now on the end of the single wall corrugated pipe, we connected a piece of dual wall corrugated pipe and put a critter guard in it. We didn't want any muskrats coming up out of this drainage ditch and building a home inside our discharge line. If you install your roof runoff system with a leaf guard and a sediment trap like you've seen in this video, you will never have a clog. You'll never flood your basement. If you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up. It supports the channel. If you have any questions regarding this installation, leave them in the comments section. I'm your host, Robert Sherwood, and until the next video.